IVM.
Hello, one, hello, all. Welcome to the Diary of the Traveling Professor. And I'm Siddharth Deshmukh, your friendly neighborhood traveling professor. Here I am, actually taking my glasses off, closing my eyes, and, kind of talking into the mic, but it is a bit of self reflection that I want to do in this particular diary entry of mine. I'm not convinced about the fact that I know all the sides or angles to this specific story, but I would call it the moment of truth. The moment of truth for three parties. One, the social media influencer who was allegedly attacked by the Zomato delivery guy. Two, the delivery guy himself. And three, Zomato as a company. Now, this is very interesting. And I call it the moment of truth because nobody knows what the truth is. In fact, Zomato's chief executive officer was basically saying that they would try to look for the truth and they would support the truth for whatever it is. And this is where this diary entry takes us into. This is my first attempt at talking about something fairly controversial and recent. I have talked about some other things before, but my intention is not to create or stir up or fan any more controversy. What I want to do is if we can learn something from an incident like this, however painful it can be, well, maybe there is something there. So let's go and kind of understand what happened. Apparently, there was a scuffle. One party claims that the other person was just, faking an attack and hit herself, while obviously the social media influencer was saying that the delivery guy hit her in a resultant scuffle, and blaming obviously the delivery person. The third party, and that's the most interesting thing, is Zomato. Now, Zomato is known for its famous memes and fun kind of marketing, and its, fun takes, and reasonably well known as a good marketing company and a good, one of the big unicorns and stuff like that. And here you have a company like this suddenly caught in the crosshairs, just like maybe Tanishq was a few months before. And a few others. I think Burger King was caught in the crosshairs as well because of some silly old tweets that they kept doing, much to their detriment. Maybe Burger King in some other podcast. I want to focus on Zomato. I think that has having likely happened. And I don't want to talk about the scuffle itself because nobody knows that. Nobody knows that till the time that it is proven otherwise. So I don't want to talk about who did what to whom and stuff like that. But let's look at the build up, right? Let's look at the build up to the incident. The build up to the incident was the fact that the lady in question was already having problems with Zomato's delivery. The lady in question was actually having a conversation wherein she was trying to get either a free delivery, as Zomato typically says, or, get cancelled order or something. And, when you're hungry and when you've worked hard and when you're a single woman just waiting for something, it is not a very pleasant situation. I think even if you forget the part about the single woman, if you're hungry, okay, and if you worked hard and you're hypoglycemic, well, it's a rough ride. Now, okay, I don't know what the delivery guy was doing. I'm sure he has his perspective, and I don't want to get into what is right and what is wrong. But what I do want to say is that unwittingly, I think Zomato has certainly been a party to this, isn't it? When they have kind of confused the lady in question as well as the delivery guy about the status of the order. And to me, that is the moment of truth that led to the scuffle. Not about who hit whom and what was the situation, because of course, those came later and those need to be dealt with. But why did the incident happen in the first place? Very recently, I had experienced something similar from Zomato. I got a cancelled order at the last minute after waiting for a very long time. I was hypoglycemic, but okay, I was seeing a movie. So I kind of forgot about it. And I got a coupon code from Zomato saying use it next time. I thought good gesture and I left it at that. thinking of it as a one-off incident, because I guess if you're a big company like Zomato and things scale up, then you are going to have outages of service levels. I'm not blaming them for it, but nor am I saying, oh, okay, all right, okay, it happens, sort of thing. I guess all of us have to live up to some standards, and growing to a scale which is as big as Zomato's or anything else means that, well, those standards have to be kept. I'm sure that all of us who grow big or who have growth in our minds or ambitions and stuff like that are going to be in a situation wherein, sometimes you get kicked. But anyway, I have no complaints with Zomato, but obviously other people do. Well, especially about the delivery guys. I think that if the underlying mechanism that led to this scuffle and led to this irritation and led to this fight is resolved, I think Zomato would have actually done something much better for itself than only deal with the symptom at hand. Because do remember, Zomato, you're talking to hungry customers who are hypoglycemic and sometimes overcritical when things can go wrong. How can you solve this? How can you solve a scuffle like this not to happen? I'm sure that I'm oversimplifying it. I'm sure that there are other factors involved. Maybe, there are things that I don't know, or maybe even the media doesn't know. But for a company that is investing so much in its marketing, its brand image, one stupid brand experience is going to result in a huge loss of goodwill, and perhaps, deservedly so. So I hope that everyone gets to the bottom of the truth and we resolve what actually happened in the incident. But for me, if I was Zomato's CEO, I would look at two truths. One is what happened in the incident, and the second is what led to that incident and how can Zomato actually change things up in order to ensure that this doesn't happen again, or at least reduces in its intensity if it does happen again. I hope you like this diary entry of mine. A bit controversial, I would say, but I think I needed to say something on this issue. I think a lot of times, there are so many extraneous circumstances. Like this lady she just happened to be a social media influencer. If she wasn't, if she were just some normal person who got whacked, if that is true, then it would have not even reached, the proportions that it reached. Or if this guy, was didn't have 4.75 stars out of 5, but actually was terrible and was like 1 or 2 stars, then what happens there? And what's the difference? I mean, if Zomato is actually looking at delivery guys, are they employees or consultants, or how does that relationship, whether it's employees or consultants, how does that loosish sort of relationship work? And I don't know. I'm not in favor of putting in too many rules in an already overruled society. But sometimes, you need to figure out what's going on and try and resolve it at all levels of truth. Well, I would love to say bye to you this week and maybe come back to you in the next week with some more, interesting insights, right, on this podcast entry, which was a little different from the others. The other ones will go back to normal service and they would be focused on interesting stuff and, stuff that you're normally associating the traveling professor with. On that happy but somber note yet, until next time.
I hope you enjoyed that show. If you aren't following us on social media, please do. We're IVM Podcast on Twitter, Facebook, and Instagram. Would like to thank our sponsors on the network this week. Syed, thank you so much for sticking with us. On the Paisa Vaisa podcast, Anupam was joined by Sujata Alawat, who spoke about women's credit behavior and about improving credit scores for better financial health. Gauri Devi Dayal was joined by Barkha Dutt on This Round is on Me. She shared her thoughts on present-day media and journalism and some of her experiences from the days of her reporting. On The Habit Coach, Ashton talked about how meditation is like getting engrossed and absorbed into an activity where you are free of other thoughts and focus on just one thing. On Agla Station Adulthood, Ritasha and Ayushi were joined by Supriya and Priyanka Joshi for an honest and heartfelt conversation about life as a woman in the 2020s. On the Filter Coffee podcast this week, Karthik invited Bala Srinivas, who has been an active mentor in the startup scene in India, and they discuss its various aspects from funding to government support. Our traveling professor Cesar talks about this academic document called Statement of Purpose and helps us understand its concept and shares and some tips on how to draft it well. And with that, I hope to see you again next week.
2020 is a difficult year. A global pandemic, protests, elections, recessions, you get the picture. What we need is a space where we can have nuanced discussions about global affairs and foreign policy. That's where I come in. My name is Hamsini Hariharan and I host the States of Anarchy podcast. Every second Tuesday, I speak to experts in the field of international relations to make a little more sense of the world. So join me on the IVM podcast app, website, or wherever you're listening to me right now.